Ghost of Tabor dropped one of their most impressive and contact-packed updates to date. I haven't played Tabor for about a year, but playing the game again reminded me just how much it pissed me off. Oh my god, game, really? Yeah, the game's still not finished, but I wanted to give this update a try, give my first impressions on it, and talk about the things that I believe need to be fixed about the game. Now, just to give some context, I've been monitoring it, watching new updates and whatnot, and kind of just popping in here and there just to see how the game controls, but I haven't actually played the game in about a year. So to me, the medical system is new, the combat sprinting is new, the mall, for the most part, is new, but the big part of this update is the revamp on Island. Now, for those who haven't played this game before, the old Island sucked. There were so many exploitable areas in the game, so much open space without any cover. It was also just really small for 12 players. Honestly, Island always needed a revamp, but I never thought the developers would be capable of producing a map this big with so many players, so much more loot, so much more detail, so much more foliage, and yet this map still runs better than the old Island, which always performed horribly. Half of the map is about the same as Old Island, they just really tuned up the map, made sure it played well, but there are very big differences between this half of Island and the new half of Island. First off, prison location, it's entirely gone. The map is roughly the same layout, but now it's kind of just like a barracks area, which I really like this area of the map. I feel like it's so much better than prison. You also got this big building that I forget the name of, but it's always been a hotspot on the map. A while back, they actually redesigned this entire area to run better, look better, so they kind of just copy and pasted the same building into this map. Just instead of tarps on the roof, they replaced it with solid metal, which I am so thankful for. Honestly, the fact that you can't just get shot through the tarp anymore is super nice. And the final area is what I believe is called Intel Station. There was a lighthouse in this area, the lighthouse has now collapsed. I hated climbing this thing, it made me so sick, and when you get to the top, it's so easy to snipe people from down below if you did have a sniper. The whole campground looking area is completely gone now, it's all just trees. And Intel Station, even though it looks different, has a different layout, internally, it's pretty much the exact same location. But then there's the second half of Island. This second half of Island looks entirely different from anything Island had previously. Now, I'm still relatively unfamiliar with this map because, to be honest, I'm really afraid to go over there. But visually, this area stands out so much. I won't ruin everything if you haven't played New Island yet because I honestly recommend going back to Tabor and trying out this new map. It is so much fun, just both combat and also visually just going around exploring these new areas and kind of seeing how they adapted this new lighting. But my two favorite areas. First off, on the original Island map, Prison had an extract that was kind of just blocked off. You could see most of the map past that, but you couldn't actually go there. It was entirely blocked off with a fence. Now you can go past that, and it's a giant crater. It is relatively empty, but it's an extremely unique looking spot on the map, filled with loot. There's not too much cover there, so if you do go there, it's kind of risky. But honestly, I just love the idea of having this giant crater right next to the prison area. It's so distinct and memorable compared to every other spot on the map that it's really hard to forget. And the second area is this giant factory looking place. I've never seen anything like it in Tabor. The closest thing that I could think of is if you've played Into the Radius 1 before, there is this warehouse looking level that you can go into and explore. It feels extremely similar to that, just in Tabor now. And gunfights wise, I've had a couple gunfights here. They're so much fun trying to weave through these really big buildings and finding cover, because there's multiple stories of cover, but the hills surrounding the area also have cover if you want to just get around it and not even interact with it. But they also have great lineups if you want to fight and try to like snipe a couple headshots into the factory. I'm just going to call it factory, I don't actually know what it's called, but factory. The game also has added a lot of new features since I played. Like I said previously, you have the tactical sprinting, you have the new medical system, but they added a ton of tiny little details that I wasn't expecting them to add. Honestly, one of my favorite little gimmicks that they added was the fact that you can now adjust the mannequins in your bunker. It's dumb, it's really stupid, but now you can move their arms towards each other, rotate their heads, and create like cool little avatars. I think it's neat. They also added a little bit more character customization. You can customize the face, you can customize the clothing, the patches. I don't know everything offhand, but there's quite a bit that you can do. And this, at the very least, is another way to customize your character in the game, and they can just build on top of this framework as time goes on. But the other thing that I noticed while playing is that this game really hasn't changed as much as I thought it did. I died.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
I got shot in the neck, Alpha Bro VR, came in from the big tower.
Alpha Bro VR, are you serious?
I was like the easiest one tap to the head.
Good night, sweet prince. Thank you for your service. really open behind. This is nerve-wracking.
He literally embarrassed me in front of all of his viewers. But what I also mean by this is that the game is still buggy.
Whoa! Wait, that player, do you see that? No.
It's been years now, and there's things that they have in the game that absolutely baffle me that they're still there. First off, the doors. They suck. Either remove them or fix them. If there's any sort of collisions with the door, they freak out unless you're holding the handle. They are serviceable at best. On the new area of Island, the lighting is also bugged, so a lot of your guns just show up black. I feel like that's something that they could fix pretty easily. I just want to point it out. I still have items falling through the map, so I'll drop a magazine and it'll just clip through the floor, which is annoying because magazines in this game cost money, so there goes 500 bucks. They still haven't fixed the motion controls. I know they mentioned that they're not going to really fix them or tweak them too much. They're not going to change that framework that they already have. But coming back to this game, I think it took like 20 hours just before I was comfortable with them again. Not even good, just comfortable. There's a lot of other little bugs that you'll encounter as you play the game. Expect bugs. Like, the game is still in early access, I want to make that very clear. But it's also been years now, and a lot of these bugs are still in the game. Like, why is this the 9th time in a row that I've seen bots that can shoot through walls? Which honestly kind of leads me towards the way that Combat Waffle treats their audience. Now, I don't want to get too in-depth because I don't want to start drama or anything. I want to make this very clear. I love the vision that Combat Waffle has. A lot of these people are new developers with ambitious ideas. The fact that they've gone as far as they can right now is so impressive to me. And I'd love to support their dream. But there's a couple things that they need to change, in my opinion, if they want this game to actually take off and last as long as they want to. Because right now, I feel like any competitor could come in, have a AA budget for an extraction shooter, and just wipe this game out of the water. First off, Scott, shut up. I don't know if you guys know about Scott at all. Scott loves to just act like a child online. He loves to start internet arguments and just be jealous that other people are playing different games and whatnot. He chases his own people off the platform, and if you try to criticize his stuff, he just says skill issue. Which I think is also funny because he tried to copyright the phrase skill issue and failed. Which, that's the biggest skill issue that I've ever seen. I think they also need to just play test their game more, because there's been so many times where they launch with insane bugs. Like, for a brief period of time, I think it was 24 hours it lasted. If you try to bring a knife into a raid, it bricked your entire account. How is that a thing that makes it into the game? Like, genuinely. But with the way that they have it set up, there's no in-game announcements about it, they don't shut down the servers, they kind of just send a Discord notice and just say, hey, watch out for this, and then they'll try to fix it next time they restart the servers. I also noticed that they'll release patch notes and just not put them on Steam, which is just a personal gripe of mine. They just leave them on Discord, which I don't want to be in their Discord. But the thing that pisses me off the most is the whole Timmy's phrase. It started as a lighthearted joke because a lot of kids play the game, which is like, it's a more mature game. I get that it's trying to market towards a more adult audience, but kids are going to play the game. So what they did was they started calling them Timmies to kind of just like differentiate the kids from the actual like serious players of the game. Because a lot of these kids are overly friendly and kind of break the immersion sometimes.
Okay, I'm trying to get a quest done to go to the camps, prison camps, so I can get the orange.
Alright, well you're not going to get there from here. But they're also a huge chunk of the audience, and I've had some of the best interactions just talking to them. It's fine to have a shooter where you don't shoot the other person all the time, especially with something like this. But instead, this has just grown to, at this point, just bully children. Which, again, I get that kids playing a game is kind of annoying, but I also don't think that gives you the right to bully children all the time. Crazy thing to say, but at the end of the day, they're paying money to play the game, and they're trying to give feedback. Let them at least do that without bullying them. Even if you don't listen to them, just let them do it. They're not harming anyone. But anywho, I don't want to keep rambling about this. Again, I don't want to start drama. I like Combat Waffle. I don't like Scott. I like Combat Waffle. I like the developers behind it. I love their dream, and I want to keep supporting it. Which is why I encourage you to buy Tabor and nothing else. Don't buy any DLC. Don't buy any skin packs. Just get Tabor. It's a good game. I think you should give them feedback, but don't give any more money to Scott because he's putting up literal advertisements in the bunker. Like, I get the whole immersion thing saying, hey, here's one-shot gum, you can eat the gum and it gives you energy in-game. Honestly, I'm fine with that advertising. But a promotional poster in your own home is kind of invasive, honestly. Anyway, I said I would stop, and I'm actually going to stop now.
He's talking.
I'll hold the right, try it, you can hold the left.
That poor kid, oh my god. Jesus.
But playing this game after playing a lot of other VR shooters from Into the Radius to Veil to Pavlov, those are the main three I play, so I'm just going to bring them up. it made me miss a lot of the features from those games that I wish Tabor would add. First off, the bunker. It is boring. You got a little cat in there, otherwise you're spending hours of your time in your bunker organizing gear, setting yourself up, waiting in queue times, waiting for friends. I think it'd just be nice to have some sort of bunker activity. You know, maybe throw darts at a billboard or something. Maybe, you know, finish the cat, because the cat I think is a really unique thing to this game, but it's just unfinished. He just chases a ball. Let him chase lasers. Let the player feed the cat. I think that's so cool. No one uses cat food in the game. I think it'd be super neat. Maybe you get XP for like Jiri or something if you just take care of the cat. I think that's a unique idea. Another thing that I missed was there's no shooting range. Like, yes, there is a shooting range. You can go up to your bunker, there's the training area if you want to do that, but there's no area to just shoot a gun. That was one thing that I absolutely loved in the first Into the Radius, where you can just go into the kiosk, pull out any gun you want with any attachments, and just play around with them. Tabor has pretty decent guns. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but they're pretty good. So I think it'd be neat if you go to the Tabor market, maybe there's like a designated area where you can just request different guns to use and not waste any ammo. But I also think it would be good for long range shots. Maybe you can just learn how to stable your shots better or see where they land. So I think just adding this shooting range would be a really unique thing to this game where you can just try out guns. Maybe it's just going to be stuff that you have unlocked, but I think it'd be super unique. The game also is just missing item trading. I think it'd be nice to at least trade items with other players in your bunker. Maybe have like a kiosk where you drop off some items, close a door, and then it trades it to another player. Maybe to not like ruin the Tabor market, maybe the person receiving it pays a 10% tax on it. That way like new players aren't loaded up with a shit ton of stuff. They have to pay the 10% fee on what it actually costs. I think that'd be nice and a good way to balance things. And oh my god, the backpack system. Some things require 2 hands, and it requires 3 hands to hold a backpack with that. So, I think it'd be nice if you had the backpack similar to how you have the secure containers, where they're always on you. Maybe you zipper up the backpack if you want to take it off of you. But whenever the backpack's open and you just let go of it, let it float there. I don't think that'd be too much of an issue to just let it float. And honestly, it might fix the whole backpack spinning thing and you can add collision again. But I'm no game developer, so I don't know how difficult that is. It's just an idea. All these are ideas. I don't know how difficult any of this is. Again, I don't develop games. But this is stuff that I would personally like in a game that I think would improve my experience with it, and I think would improve a lot of other people's. So the whole gist of this video is go play Tabor. Go buy the game, go sink as many hours as you want into it. The studio has found alternative ways to make money that don't require you to buy a DLC. But if you do want to buy it, I would honestly just recommend getting like the $18 upgrade, where as soon as the game launches or as soon as a wipe happens, you just get a couple more stuff from the start and all your trader levels are at 2. I think it's dumb that they locked this behind a paywall, but that would be the only thing that I really recommend past that if you do end up sinking a lot of hours into it. But for me personally, I don't like Scott. I would like my money back on the skins that I purchased. I purchased them purely because I want this game to succeed and I want them to have the funding that they need. But with the way Scott's been acting online, literally chasing his own content creators off the platform, it's just something that I don't want to support anymore, and that's totally fine. But I also don't want to group the developers into him. I don't want this studio to fail because of him. Expect bugs if you do buy the game. Expect a lot of frustrating ones. But a lot of the harsh criticism that I'm giving towards this game is purely out of love. I want to encourage the developers to keep working at their passion project, and let them understand that me, as a player who's sunk hundreds of hours into this game, is starting to get frustrated with some of the behaviors that they've been doing for the past few years. But anywho, I'm gonna stop rambling about this game. Give it a try. I know I've said it like 20 times already, but if you do like competitive games, this extraction shooter format fits perfectly in VR. It is in a better state than when I played it a few years back. So, of course, if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, feel free to go in the comments, talk to me about it. I want to hear your opinion about this game, especially if you've played it before. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. I hope you guys have a good one. I think I made it very clear at this point that I will never get a sponsorship from Combat Waffle ever in the future. So because of this, I usually don't ask, but I'm really trying to work on subscribers on this channel right now. So if you did enjoy this video, if you got a couple laughs out of it, if you learned something, honestly, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. But if you don't want to subscribe, I really don't care. I'm not going to be butthurt about it. I do this purely for fun. But that's all I'm going to ask from you, so I hope you guys have a good day. I don't know what I'm doing next video. I still got to figure that out. But just like the last video, I'll probably leave it at the end. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
I'm bleeding out, dig it deeper just to throw it away. I'm bleeding out, dig it deeper just to throw it away. I'm bleeding out, dig it deeper just to throw it away. Just to throw it away. Just to throw it away. I'm bleeding.